Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video marks the beginning of week number 15 in this road to 200k challenge. So as you can see, the week started on a bit of a negative note. Markets are coming down and so our stocks for the most part are also coming down as well, especially American Airlines and also Pfizer as well. But yeah, this is something that can always happen, and so for the time being we are going to proceed with our strategy. As I mentioned in the video that wraps up last week number 14, I decided to move ahead with the plan that I mentioned, and so I decided to buy directly, not using put options, not selling puts, but instead buying directly 300 more shares of Estée Lauder, and I managed to buy them, if I'm not mistaken, at around the price of 67.27, something around that. Yes, so it was exactly 67.27 with a fee of $1.52 as well. And so this is the plan. We are going to try everything we can to buy more shares and reduce our average cost of acquisition. In a few minutes I will show you what is the current average price after this acquisition, and because we also had some stocks which had calls available at our price of acquisition, we decided to basically we went ahead and we sold calls on American Airlines, as you can see right here. And of course, because the stock is coming down 3.5%, this call is already profitable for us, so we are already gaining on this particular call. And also decided to sell also the calls on Pfizer, again, as I mentioned, because we need to get rid of the stocks that we have as much as we can to make sure we dump everything on Estée Lauder. I decided to, instead of using the 29 strike price that I used last week, I decided to go a little bit further down and use the 28.5, which was exactly the cost of acquisition of these 400 shares. And so let's wait and see what happens. In terms of lift, we already had this call from last week, so there was nothing we can do here. And for motor company, the stock price is currently too much low, so in order to allow us to sell calls with a strike price that would allow us to break even at least, which is 13.50. And of course, it goes without saying that such a low price with on Estée Lauder, and given the fact that we are currently with the average price of acquisition 92.50 before the acquisition of those 300 shares, there is no way that there are any calls available at the strike price close to this one that we can sell calls on. And so we will have to further bring down this price of acquisition, and so yeah, then we'll have to see what happens, because we are hoping that the stock eventually will rebound, and my hope or belief that it will do so was reinforced today, because I'm a subscriber of the Morningstar, which is basically an entity that provides a lot of financial services, stocks analysis on many different ranges of ETF stocks, bonds, mutual funds. And I received a notification that today, the notification came today, but this article was basically written on the same day that SOD released its earnings. And basically says the 10 best companies to invest right now. And this is the list for November 2024. And guess what is the company which is basically on top? And this is SLOD, which mentions that it's basically trading at a 50% below the fair value estimate of 176. Never mind this value 176, because this is far too high compared to the other estimations of other analysts. But the fact that it's trading 50% below, it tells us that most likely there is some margin of appreciation in the stock, and so we are trying basically to capitalize on this and bring in as many shares as we can, so that when the stock price finally rises and goes a bit closer to its expected fair value, we are able to dump our entire holding of shares, so that we can then basically get rid of this stock and get rid of this conundrum in which we find ourselves in. But coming back to our portfolio, so these are the trades that we did, and so now let's input our trades in our scoreboard, even though some modifications will have to be done, but I will do them off screen in terms of the buying of the shares and all that. So basically this is it. So let's start with the call on American Airlines. Today is November the 4th, right? So 0411. So, and this particular call will expire next Friday on the 8th. So this is American Airlines. This is a covered call. Strike price is 14. And these are 9 calls. Again, we'll have to bring back this formula, because this formula is the actual collateral on this stock, on the shares that we have, and so in which we are selling, we are using as collateral for the covered call. Now let's look how much premium did we receive. So see, here it is. So we received 9 cents, right? And we had to pay a quite hefty commission. I'm surprised, actually. We paid such a high commission for this. So it's 277 and 222. That means this is 499. I was not expecting to be this much, but yeah, never mind. All right, so next up, it's going to be the calls on Pfizer. Covered call, strike price 28.50. These were 4. And let's see what it is. So the Pfizer, this is it. Yeah, the formula basically gives us the same result, because actually this is exactly the price at which we acquired the shares, but never mind, to keep everything correct. So we received 16 cents on premium, right? 16 cents, and we paid 85 cents plus 296. So this is 381. All right, so this is 381. All right. Now we have to do some sort of adjustment here, because let's just assume that this is current acquisition, right? And this is actually the opening date, of course. Let's just pretend that this is the expiration date, because it doesn't really matter. Now let's use this SLOD cell in here. Let's just pretend this is a cash covered put because it doesn't really matter. The price of acquisition was, let's see, so this was 67.27, because by doing so we will be able, and we bought 300 shares. I will always buy blocks of shares of 100, because if then I will decide to sell calls on them, I can use a specific number of contracts to get rid of all the shares. So I will always buy 100 or multiples of 100, 100, 200, 300, 400, and so on. All right. So of course we did not receive any premium on this, because this is what a direct outright buy, and we paid 152 in commission. All right. And so this is it for now. All right. And let's just put here in the comments that we bought here 300 shares, right, in order to make sure that we know what happened. All right, and then we'll also gonna have to put this formula right here, because by doing so we will be able now to see what will be the return on this particular block of shares. So I will have to basically see this formula again, but I believe this is the correct order, and yes, this is correct. Yeah, this is correct. So now this will be using to see this value is how much I would have to sell these shares in order to break even, right? It's 1 cent more given this commission, but in this case this will allow us then to determine whether we will be able to break even on these particular shares, or will be having a small capital gain. But for the time being, this is it. With further acquisitions I will do the same as in here, and yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I will most likely do more acquisitions during this week, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens. For the time being, this is all. Feel free to leave your comments below, and any questions you may have, you may leave also a comment, or get in touch with me on LinkedIn, send me a private message through there. Also, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And yeah, we'll reconvene at the end of the week to see how the trades worked out. And I'll see you all in the next one.